Hi guys, welcome to St James's Park this Wednesday lunchtime, where it's bad news, I'm afraid, for Sandro Tonali and Newcastle United, because news emerged this morning via our colleagues in Sky Italy, and I've managed to stand much of that information up myself today, that Sandro Tonali is facing a lengthy spell on the sidelines, a lengthy ban from football after yesterday at his hearing over in Turin, admitting that he bet on football matches while a player at AC Milan. Now, not just any football matches, he admitted to betting on AC Milan matches and also AC Milan matches in which he played in. Now, this of course is all part of the Italian illegal betting probe that started a few weeks ago and saw both Tonali and Nicolo Zaniolo, the Aston Villa player, removed from international duty last week over in Italy. Both of them should have featured against England last night, but they didn't because they were pulled out of that squad by the Italian FA while the investigation into this illegal betting situation was ongoing. Now, yesterday, the first of the three players, Nicolo Fagioli of Juventus, was handed a 7-month ban for his part in the illegal betting. He was the first player to come out, essentially. He put himself forward, admitted that he was guilty of the offence, and kind of raised this whole situation to the Italian FA. As a result of that, he was given a 7-month ban from playing football, 12 months of which 5 of them are suspended. So 7 months away from football. He'll miss 7 months of the game. But he is expected to get a slightly more lenient sentence, or punishment should I say, due to the fact that he put himself forward and he self-admitted himself to the Italian FA. Now, for Tonali and for Villa's Zaniolo, it's slightly different because neither of those players have done that. But what Tonali has done is he has helped with the investigation over these last 48 to 72 hours. And yesterday, at his meeting with the federal department over in Italy, he has admitted his guilt and he's admitted betting on matches in which he played in. Now, according to my colleagues in Sky Italy, he said that he's only ever betted on AC Milan to win. He's never betted on them to draw or to lose, but that in itself is an offence, and with that will come a ban. So what you'll want to know is, how long is he going to be banned for? We don't yet know yet, but I should hear about that fairly soon. I'm hearing from in Italy that we should know within the next couple of days as to what Tonali's fate will be. But you have to suggest, if Fagioli is given a 7-month ban and he self-admitted himself, that would suggest to me that Tonali's ban is set to be longer than that. But it's difficult to speculate too much right now when we don't know. We don't know to what levels Tonali has helped with the investigation. He spent 2 hours over in Turin yesterday, flew in from Newcastle. I am expecting him back on Tyneside later today ahead of the game against Crystal Palace. Will he play in that game? We'll have to wait and see. You would have to suggest it would be perhaps unlikely at this stage with all this hanging over his head. And then when will the ban kick in? I think for Fagioli it's straight away. So if we get news on this by the weekend, you would suggest that Tonali will be banned straight away as well. But again, as I say, that's all speculation at the moment. What we do know is that he's admitted to betting on football matches while a player over in Italy with AC Milan, and we await further from that. We await to hear what Tonali's punishment will be. For Newcastle, obviously a huge blow for them because they've got injury problems in midfield right now, and it's been himself, Bruno Guimaraes and Sean Longstaff that have sort of held up the midfield these last few weeks, and it felt against PSG the other week that he really was back to the form that we saw from him in that opening match against Aston Villa on the first game of the season. His form had dropped off a little bit, but he was very good at PSG, and it'll be a huge blow to Newcastle. Not just to miss him for a matter of weeks, but to miss him for a lengthy period of time. I suppose for Newcastle, once they get confirmation, the way they need to look at it is they've got a player who's suffered a broken leg or an ACL, and he's going to miss whatever it may be, 7, 9, 12 months. whatever, and that's only the way they can look at it. Now, my information from the Newcastle side of things is that they're surprised and they're shocked about this. They had no knowledge, of course, when they signed the player. Why would they have spent £55 million on a top level midfielder if they had a suspicion that he was going to serve or potentially serve a lengthy ban? But they obviously know about that now, and we await some kind of statement from the club. Nothing as yet. I would suspect they are waiting until confirmation of the ban comes from the Italian FA. As I say, we don't have that just yet. So his agent yesterday said he's training and he's available for Crystal Palace at the weekend. Whether that's changed since yesterday's hearing and since the revelations and since his admission to the Italian FA, we'll have to wait and see. But you would suggest it might be difficult for him to play in that game anyway. I suppose the good news for Newcastle is that I think Joe Linton is likely to be back soon, if hopefully at the weekend, if not soon after that. And I think Joe Willock's back in training now as well and is expected back in the next couple of weeks. So that softens the blow slightly. But I think for Newcastle as a club, they'll be frustrated. They'll be really disappointed that they've spent that large sum of money, a big amount of their transfer summer budget, £55 million, on a player who's set to be suspended for a lengthy period of time. And I suppose the main question that arises from this, obviously we know that Newcastle didn't know, but what did AC Milan know? Did they know anything in the summer when they agreed to sell their 23-year-old captain, a player who'd been captain from them, come through the ranks, fans' favourite, when they sold him to Newcastle United and seemed quite willing to sell him at the time? Did they know anything? Again, we'll have to wait and find out on that, but it's a difficult one for all concerned, and I suppose not the news that Newcastle, Eddie Howe or their supporters would have wanted to hear today, that one of their key players in a position where they're already light is going to be missing for a lengthy period of time. So listen, I'll be back with further on this once we get confirmation as to what the length of ban will be, but the fact Tonali has admitted to betting on those matches to help the Italian Federation with their investigation suggests that a ban will follow, like what we saw with the Juve player Fagioli yesterday. So certainly more to come out throughout the week, and Eddie Howe will be asked about it at his news conference at length, I would imagine, on Friday. It'll be interesting to see whether we hear from the club before then with some kind of statement. But yeah, as it stands, Sandro Tonali, the news from Italy this morning on the back of that hearing yesterday is that he's admitted to betting on football matches in which he played in and which he didn't play in, while an AC Milan player. And he is facing a fairly lengthy spell on the sidelines, and it's bad news for everyone concerned here at Newcastle United. So expecting him back, as I say, in Tyneside later today to join back up with the squad and see the hierarchy, see the manager. We'll wait and see what his involvement will be on Saturday. But the bigger issue, the bigger problem is the long term for Sandro Tonali and Newcastle United, with him, as I say, likely to serve what looks like a fairly lengthy ban.